The View performs two massive cover-ups in one episode. I've got bad news. This is mostly Joy Behar, of course, and Sunny Hostin, who are just so screwed up in the head that they are still stuck on the last 4 years. They don't realize culture is moving on from them. One of the cover-ups is about Michelle Obama, by the way, who is rumored to be on the brink of divorce with Barack. I know there's conflicting news reports on that. It's bad news for her. All these people are a member of the past. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. This is where the happy patriots are. Let's watch the cover-up.
Somebody else who's not happy these days is First Lady Jill Biden, who just gave an exit interview to the Washington Post, where she admitted that she was, quote unquote, disappointed by how her friend of 50 years, Nancy Pelosi, handled the controversy that led to her husband stepping down. So Pelosi's not going to the inauguration, and she's not going to the Biden's place for brunch anytime soon. Do I have that right?
Shady.
So this is a grudge. She's mad.
Well, she's very protective over her husband, and I appreciate that. We've always known that about Jill Biden.
But shouldn't she?
Protective is one way of putting it. Covering up for her husband's, basically Jill Biden being the acting president for the last 4 years is another way of putting it.
Be able to separate business from friendship?
I don't
Maybe
think
not.
so in this sense, right? Because a 50-year friendship is a long time. What I will say is my understanding is that Nancy Pelosi had a private meeting with Joe Biden and explained to him that she thought that he could not win. That's very different than the public thrashing that we saw from like a George Clooney and others. I thought that was very inappropriate. I did not like the way they treated our sitting president. And I think that history will look very kindly on this president. If you think about Jimmy Carter, his exit poll was at 34%. In 2023, his approval rating was 57%. And so you have Joe Biden.
That's purely because of his work in Habitat for Humanity, that he solely did to repair his reputation. That's what he was more famous for, even than being a disastrous president.
Biden leaving office with a 36% approval rating, we are going to think very highly of how he took us out of that pandemic,
right,
how he restored the soul of this country, how he made us, again, a respected country with our allies.
The economy is
and the
good.
economy is.
Our allies openly mocked us. Now, this is delusional. This is what I mean by they've lost their minds. Sunny Hostin is brainwashing you right now. The idea that he repaired our reputation on the world stage after Trump is crazy. They started walking all over us. What they keep forgetting is that in leadership, it's better to be feared or respected than loved. So what they mean is people like the Iran regime loved Joe Biden. They mean that Putin loved Joe Biden because he showed enough weakness that it would allow him to attack. China loved Joe Biden. North Korea loved Joe Biden. Mexico loved Joe Biden. The communists that ran Canada loved Joe Biden. And the enemies of liberty loved Joe Biden. He helped them pull off all their shenanigans.
At an all-time high.
And Donald Trump is about to be president again.
And the infrastructure bill and how he tried his best to work across the aisle. And so, you know, I understand that Jill is upset.
What you were saying about other people there were other people who had private conversations with Joe Biden.
Did.
And we didn't keep hearing and reading leaks about those private conversations every time we turned on the TV or opened up a newspaper. She also went on TV and, you know, she did things. So I think that's the part that was hurtful. You know, Hakeem Jeffries went in there. Chuck Schumer went in there. And none of those conversations leaked. I think that when you have a 50-year friendship, it's very difficult to separate things. When Joe Biden was here, when the president was here, I asked him during a commercial break, how are you doing with Pelosi? Have you spoken to him? And, you know, and he said, because he's Joe Biden, and I don't think he holds grudges, he said, we'll be all right. We've been friends for a long time. And I said to him,
he didn't know. He had no idea what was going on around him, is why he said everything was fine. This is a stack of lies. I mean, or it's naivete on Ana Navarro's part to think this. By the way, the reason why there are so many leaks under Trump was because he had so many people in his administration that were old school rhinos and the old way of doing things. He had absolute leaks, conspiracies from within his own cabinet, which is why his current appointments are so good. You're not going to get leaks from anyone in this cabinet.
How about Jill? And he laughed and he said, they're both Italian. And so, that's an Italian girl there. Yeah. And I understand that sometimes when
I'm Italian, I don't hold grudges.
Because you forget, but I hold them on your behalf.
I do think we're missing something. Listen, friendships and loyalty do matter, but in public service, I think there are moments where the country comes before your friendships. And Joe Biden ran on Donald Trump as an existential threat to democracy. We will not recognize this country if he's back in office. Yet when people were going to him, people who care about him and are his lifelong friends saying, we have the data, you are not going to win. You're going to put us on a very different trajectory if you don't step aside. I think Nancy Pelosi is a hero for trying to being the one to step up and do it. It's always women, it seems like, who are like, sorry, reality check, this isn't working. And to be honest, if he had listened sooner and if his friends and close people around him had gotten to him sooner, I think Kamala Harris would have had a way better shot at winning.
No chance. That's another rumor, is that she could have won. That's what Biden said. Biden said, I could have won. And he said, Kamala Harris could have won, which is beyond. They have no idea what Trump accomplished. And they're talking about an existential threat now under Trump. Nothing made America more unstable than 4 years of Biden. Almost brought our country to a point of no return, is how bad he was. Now people feel a sigh of relief, like America's back. America is coming back. A new, greater America is coming back, even than the first Trump administration.
Rather than in 90 days.
Do you think that if Biden had run, in fact, that he would have beaten Trump?
No, I do not think that. And if you watched his exit speech, which was beautiful in content, there were moments where I had that same uneasy feeling as a person who actually loves him, and my politics align more with him. I voted for him, and I still watched and kept waiting for him to misspeak because he was jumbling his words. No, I don't think he would have won.
You still voted for the guy that couldn't talk. That's baffling to me. His words came out, he'd misspeak. It was obvious he was decomposing before our very eyes, and she still supported and loved Biden.
It's the misogyny and the racism that was part of this election.
But I think what you're saying, Alyssa, is important because we talk all the time about Donald Trump and all the way he views being a president is for himself. The people around him, it's about Donald Trump. We always lose the main criticism of him is he lost sight of the fact that his vow was to a constitution. She's
so wrong on that too. Trump did not run to benefit himself. If Trump did, he's a multimillionaire, almost a billionaire. He'd have stayed out of office. He only lost money if he was truly self-serving. Joe Biden, on the other hand, went into, with vice presidency under Barack Obama, went in having no money, and now he has hundreds of $millions having served under Obama by setting up all these rich foreign deals and selling out America and not observing the Constitution, undermining our rule of law. So once again, these ladies, boy, they've got it completely backwards and they're snowing you.
Mission first. It's the country first. And I think what
Who lost sight of that?
Donald Trump.
He never saw that.
He never saw it. But it's
he's always been loyal to himself.
But in the same way,
he's never read the Constitution.
But let me mention
He
this.
doesn't know how to spell Constitution.
Tammy Duckworth, Senator Duckworth said here on the Soldier's Creed the other day, and this is what public servants do. They go Constitution and country first. I'm also talking about Nancy Pelosi and putting the fact that the mission in the country came first. That had to be so hard for her to do, considering that friendship. But
not the mission in the country came first. It's power comes first for them. Power comes first for Nancy Pelosi, lady.
Also respect that if Dr. Biden feels all of those protective feelings of her husband, that's understandable.
And can I say one final thing? With due respect to Joe Biden and his 40-plus years of service, I think it's disrespect 50 that he keeps talking about how he would have won. Because what he's effectively saying is Kamala lost, but I would have won. I think it's disrespectful to somebody who stepped up and ran a very good campaign in a short amount of time.
It's not disrespectful to Kamala. It's about what I just said.
But why?
It would have eliminated those misogynist, sexist pigs out there. And those racist people who would never...
There's Joy Reid calling all of you misogynist, sexist pigs and racist pigs are the only reason why Trump won. That's the view. They're going to get pulled off the air, I'm predicting. Within the year, someone's going. I think Sonny Hostin's going to get fired.
No
vote for a
data
black
to
woman.
suggest that
And you
Biden
know
could
it.
have won. No, I saw that debate. He could not have won after June 27th.
That is one version of a sad. I mean, Joy Reid there is insane. To say that about America, and frankly, half of the View's audience is disgusting. Remember, they said the same thing about Barack Obama before he won. They said America will never, they won't vote for him because of racism. No, he got overwhelmingly won. Barack Obama, the first black president, when it was a big deal and no one knew, smoked it. And it wasn't, and had tons of white people voting for him. So she really should not impugn the Americans' character that way. I know that she's doing it out of complete ignorance and selfishness and stupidity, but that really rubs me the wrong way. How about you guys? I mean, is there anything worse you can say? And it's an election denial even to say that Kamala would have won or Biden would have won. That's election denialism. Again, they accuse us of it, denying election results. The people overwhelmingly spoke. It's crystal clear.
The guest list is set for Trump's inauguration on Monday. Can't wait. Not Trump's favorite billionaires, are sure to be in attendance, but one VIP who's skipping the event is former First Lady Michelle Obama.
Oh, dear. Everyone knows Michelle Obama is skipping the inauguration, showing that when they go low, we go lower. And her talking about oligarchs, every one of these View hosts are multi-million-dollar people. Now, they think they're poor because they're not Elon Musk with billions of dollars. Every one of them probably has tens of millions of dollars stacked up with their salary. If there's an oligarchy, it's what they're doing with their fame and their reach to lie to you.
Michelle's rep issued a statement.
Oh, yeah, clap.
Michelle's rep issued a statement confirming that the former president will attend, but not the First Lady. Is she right or wrong?
Yes, Lord, she is so right. She is so right.
That automatically makes her wrong.
She gave us that when they go low, we
That's right.
must go high.
She changed that one.
And I think she's
This, Joy Reid accidentally called out Michelle Obama as a hypocrite. Just Michelle Obama, let that sink in. The whole when they go low, we go high. Joy Reid goes, well, she's over that. I mean, in other words, by the way, she never meant it back then. She was lying then. So it's not that she changed her mind now. They never believed that when they believe that the other side goes low, that they go high. They've never gone high. Democrats have never gone high. They're pragmatists above all else. That is, the ends justify any means. They're the reason, and they attacked Trump long before Trump was any kind of a political threat. They went after Trump. They started this. We're going to end it.
Sure too. And I think when they go low, you have to meet that energy and perhaps go even lower, become small like an ant and go to the Earth's crust.
Oh, yes, that's a huge admission of guilt right there. Thank you, honey. Sonny, you take the high road again. That's an admission, okay? They're finally telling you the truth. They say if it's time to take the low road, go below the ants, go below the Earth's crust. I think she's finally told the truth for the first time. I'm actually happy. This is very insulting, but I'm happy that she's finally telling you the truth.
I will say is,
Not cross
yeah. Well, what I will say is, she said that she did not enjoy Trump's 2017 inauguration because there was no diversity, there was no color on that stage. She said there was no reflection of the broader sense of what America looks like, and many people took pictures of her, and she just wasn't in a good mood. But I want to show.
Michelle always takes those pictures where she doesn't look like she's in a good mood. She can't fake it. She looks like the glummest, angriest person on the planet. And the idea that Trump doesn't have diversity on his stage is ridiculous. He's going to have, Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek Ramaswamy, women all over the place. Since that's supposedly there's some kind of an oppressed class when it comes to diversity. See, the problem is the left, when they mean diverse people on stage, they mean two people only, gays and blacks. if they don't see gays and blacks. And so the left will take unqualified gays and blacks like Karine Jean-Pierre, like Lloyd Austin, and put them in offices they don't belong in. And then when they fail and people like me criticize them, they go, you're only criticizing them because they're gay and black. That's the only reason why they hide behind people's diversity. They're meant to be shields so that when you criticize them for the actual mistakes and the actual terrible job they do, they can call you a name. And it ends with an ist or a phobe, always.
Clip of what she said at the DNC, which I really think hits home.
For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us.
Who's us, Grouchy? If you mean Democrats, yes, fear Democrats. If you mean blacks, you're a race-baiting liar.
See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black.
That is evil. Two highly educated people. She means her and Barack, that Trump was only angry at them for their race, which is ridiculous. If they were white, they'd actually get even more ire thrown against them. They have a protective cultural shield of being black, which I'm fine with. But don't say that Trump was only against you because you were educated. Oddly enough, it was when Barack Obama picked Joe Biden as his vice president that Joe Biden said of Barack Obama, he's so clean and articulate. Like, Joe Biden is the biggest racist in office, and she doesn't say that about him because she doesn't mean it here. The liberal mind, guys, is just a hive of scum and villainy.
And I think when you see that, you understand why she wouldn't go.
So I have no problem with Michelle Obama not going. I think that it's critical that all former presidents and vice presidents attend. I think it signals to the world that despite a very tumultuous political season, that America moves forward and we're going to have a safe and secure transfer of power, despite Donald Trump in 2020 and what he did after January 6th. But I think as spouse, she served her time. I don't think that she's obligated to be there. But it was also reported that Nancy Pelosi isn't attending. And I think it's a missed opportunity for two reasons. I think that, A, showing that the country is still going to move forward, even if the person you didn't want to win wins, even if you have grave concerns about who they are. But also, she is still a leader among Democrats. She's a sitting lawmaker. And while she's not speaker, she's speaker emeritus. I think it's kind of signaling almost Democrats retreating when there is something powerful to showing up and saying, we're here. We're going to sit here, listen to him take the oath of office, be sworn in.
On that note, I liked what she said about Democrats retreating. So if you look at all the Democrats that are retreating, and I mean George Bush also. George Bush, a Democrat that's retreating. George Bush is not attending the inauguration. But Nancy Pelosi, retreat, run away. I love every one of them that won't attend. I want them to go away and show that they're not going to be in the fight. They're not going to stay in and be on TV for the public. Michelle Obama, hide your face. It's a relief to me to have you not show up and not be in the fight. Because you know what would bug the right or Trump even more? If they showed up and acted positive and acted like statesmen. That would really terrify some Republicans and go, holy cow, they're staying in this. Yes, run away. It's like Monty Python, run away, run away.
We also exist. There's also a counter and an alternative here. To me, that just feels like an odd missed opportunity.
Why do they get that, though, Alyssa, when Trump himself didn't go to the inauguration
Because I think
of
you have to
Biden,
be bigger.
his
Yeah,
I was just going to
successor?
say.
I don't actually believe in going to the Earth's crust so we all end up in the
Yeah, I
Earth's
was going to
crust.
say, it's kind of like as a parent, I always say, we do not let the worst example among us set the bar for us. We do better when we know how to do better. And so for me, I don't mind Michelle Obama not attending. Again, their family has given so much to this country. They have done so much that at this point, the tradition is the people that were in office, the presidents, the vice presidents, the senators. I don't care what Donald Trump does. I will not stop fighting. And if we think what Donald Trump is, and none of us here voted for him, if we think he is all those things we said, then you continue to do your job harder. You show up. You do the things. Like the fact that she is Speaker Emeritus, you're right. You do not say, well, they did it first. That sounds like, again, preschoolers.
No, it sounds, this is what I love about this. These ladies everyone except for Lisa Farah Griffin, who believes that they should attend, all of these other ladies that say that it's okay for them not to attend are actually acting like Trump did in 2020. They are more Trumpy in their response because Trump didn't go to Biden's inauguration, and all of them are agreeing that it's okay that Michelle Obama and Nancy Pelosi not go. You lose your ability to judge the other person when they do what you would do, because Trump doesn't suddenly change the rule. His behaviors don't suddenly change the rule that you ought to attend an inauguration. Whether Trump goes or not should not play into the thing at all. Otherwise, you're giving him power to remove your values. And everyone here on The View and Michelle Obama and anyone who ever pointed a finger at Trump for not going, they're embodying his values in agreeing that people shouldn't have to go to the inauguration. I'm not taking a side of either Trump or Michelle Obama. Okay, I'm not saying it was right when Trump didn't go and it's wrong when Michelle didn't go. I'm only saying that if you're going to hold to a rule that it's wrong to not go, or it's right that you ought to go, that stands no matter who does it or who doesn't. So I'm not going to change my opinion on that. I think Trump should have gone in 2021. And that's why I can stand here in judgment of The View and Michelle Obama saying, you should go, because that's a right principle. Nancy Pelosi, she is leaving in a tizzy, or she doesn't want to make eye contact with Jill Biden because they might break out into a fist fight, which would be awesome TV. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Doug in Exile, and here's another episode.